Everybody, good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are. This is Gifty from Baller Mom, and I am here today with my Baller Mom feature series. I was here yesterday, and today I'm back again. I have a guest that will be joining me, and he is going to talk about his organization, his club, his league, and I really hope everybody that watches just get inspired, especially for those who are having difficulty making on a team or trying to find out how to get on a team and where you really need to start to ensure that your child is on the right path. Manny, who's going to join us, is definitely one of the organization's founders that you need to connect with. And I'm going to have him here to share his journey, his story, where they're located, what they're doing, what's up with them, and everything. And I want to say hello to everybody that's waving at me and coming and joining in. I wanted to invite Manny because I don't want to talk too much. I want the guest to always be the one that shares their story. And here he is. Hi, Manny. Good evening. How are you?
Hey, I'm good, Gifty. How are you?
Good, good. Did I catch you off on the wrong time? Are you in between training sessions or anything like that?
No, this is perfect. Actually, we're having an evaluation going down for our house league. Um,
Okay.
if I show you here, you can see all the kids.
Oh, wow. Great turnout.
Yeah, really good turnout. Kids are working hard. This is their second evaluation, so we've got a
Nice.
few coaches on the court with them right now, just going to figure out what situation's best for them moving forward this fall.
Wow. I like that. I like that. See, this is why I want you here to show because it's an early start stage and you guys do such a great job. Even when if it's a house league, even if it's development, you still have a way of making sure that each player is assessed on a certain level that's best suit them. So without any further ado, I'm already leading into what you guys do. Now, I don't want to talk too much about it. Introduce yourself. Who is Manny and all about ZOR?
Yeah, for sure. So before I get started, thank you, Gifty, for having me on this platform. I think it's wonderful what you're doing for the community, for parents, sharing all these resources, and there's a lot of value that people can get from your page. So thank you for doing what you do. We appreciate you.
No problem.
And just to go forward, my name is Manny. Full name is Manvinder Sahota, and I'm a youth basketball coach. I played professionally. Um, like basketball has a huge part to do with almost everything I do in my day-to-day routine. I get up, wake up, go to the gym, um, get my own workouts in during the day, probably do a bit of admin work, and then during the evenings, usually on the court with the kids, just coaching and training.
Mm-hmm.
So that's who I am. This is what I do, and looking forward to sharing my story with your viewers and any questions that you may have. Be happy to answer them.
Okay, well, I have lots of questions, but
Yeah,
if
I'm sure
anybody
you do.
else on here has any particular questions for him, by all means, put it in the chat, any comments, anything. Like this is an ongoing conversation, and I want you guys to be part of it as much as possible as well, too. So you told you've introduced yourself, and you live in the basketball world. Did you play sports though yourself? I think you mentioned a little bit, but if you can just talk a bit about it.
Yeah, for
And if
sure.
you did, what was the sports? Has it always been basketball?
Yeah, no, great question. So I actually started off playing. I actually started off with basketball, but like not as early as a lot of kids that we see in today's day and age with kids starting as young as kindergarten, grade 1, grade 2, and playing
Mm-hmm.
on rep teams at that age. I probably started in grade 5 where I played for my school team. And actually, we didn't have a school team. We had intramurals during that time. In grade 7 and 8, I played for my school team back over Sunnyview Middle School. And then once I got to high school, I played volleyball as well for 5 years. So volleyball and basketball were the two main sports that I was always involved in. And luckily, footwork with jumping and everything that volleyball teaches translated over well to some of the skills that I was already learning in basketball. So shout out
Yeah.
to my guy BoFit, by the way. He's
Yeah,
destroying
yeah, you're
comments
getting
right
a lot of shout outs going on from Vaughan City, Bot Fit Training.
now. Yeah.
Who else? My Tea Bar Cafe, Unity Sports, Coach Ray over there. Everybody's giving you a good shout out. So yes, thank you
So
guys for tuning in. Yep, way to represent the community, definitely. So yeah, okay, so you actually been a baller kid all your life then with volleyball and basketball.
yeah, but definitely a lot started a lot later than a lot of the kids do these days. So
Yeah,
I'm happy for them for sure. But definitely, if I started earlier, maybe could have done some more stuff with the game. But it is what
yeah.
it is.
Well, but you are
Not gonna be
doing
a
so
bitter
much
old man
more
now.
though. I don't even like want to take it away because you are doing so much. And with that, even though you may have started later and all the life, terms that you have gone through with it, what would you say has been the best part so far or the most challenging so far within the sports world, through your journey? It could be maybe within a month, a year, COVID, whatever. Like overall, how would you describe your experience, good and bad?
Overall, it's been positive. It's been great just learning everything along the journey. Obviously, didn't go to school thinking that I was going to graduate and start a business right away or start a youth basketball organization right away. This was something that kind of developed over time in university. When I had the opportunity to coach in local coaching clinics and be a part of different house leagues and just see the youth sports world and be involved in it from like I guess the employee side or the coach's side and just have
Mm-hmm.
that perspective and really start to appreciate what it was about and the impact that you can have doing something like that. So after graduating and starting ZOR, really had the chance to kind of learn on the fly and develop programs and work with our coaches to give value to these kids, bring tutors in to help them out with school stuff. So just like different facets of development, just like kind of focusing on those. It's been great.
Mm-hmm.
I think the biggest challenge to date that we still continue to face sometimes is just I think managing parent expectations, and that it's not it's not a knock on any parents because at the end of the day, you're gonna want your child to succeed in whatever it is that they're doing, whether it's basketball, whether it's school, and you want them to do that at the highest levels possible that they can achieve at. So parents are, especially in our community, parents can get very competitive. There's a lot of competitive basketball clubs. There's a lot of just
Yes.
competition in general. So
Our
everyone wants
competitiveness come out even when we're not on the court. I testify to that. I'm one of them that's like and then you have to learn to scale back. So definitely I could say that I understand when
to.
you talk about those challenges.
So to that point, I mean, expressing passion and enthusiasm for the game, I love that. I definitely want parents to be cheering as much on the side and giving kids good energy. Just when it comes to understanding the game, understanding the steps that are needed to be taken to play at the next levels,
Mm-hmm.
understanding, um, the type of discipline and grind it takes to let's say get a basketball scholarship or play professionally.
Mm-hmm.
Um, a lot of parents come in like wanting their kids to go to the NBA, and it's like, well,
You don't
you know,
jump just like that. Yeah. It takes
yeah.
time.
So it's you got to help parents understand that maybe the NBA isn't the best fit for their kids. However, they can develop lifelong habits of healthy or developing good exercise habits, healthy eating, developing how to set and achieve goals, and like these little things along the way, I think are much more important.
Mm-hmm.
Wanting their
Yep.
kid to play at a professional level. Obviously, if your kid is equipped with that type of talent, there are clubs out there that only work with elite level athletes.
Mm-hmm.
We're not one of those clubs right now. We take everyone. We kind of want to help develop kids and help them fit in where they can in the basketball world, whether it's being a house
Yep.
league player or a rep player or a prep school. Like we do have all these affiliations and connections surrounding our organization. So I look at our club more of as a platform where kids can
Mm-hmm.
come in to kind of develop and then go to that next step. Luckily and thankfully, this fall we are introducing rep teams. So
Yes.
now we don't
Yes.
have to let all of our kids go. Obviously, if he's like a five-star recruit, I'm not going to let him play on our Division II rep team. Obviously, I would,
Mm-hmm.
recommend a club like TPG or or UPlay or one of these bigger clubs that can actually accommodate and provide him the opportunity, him or her the opportunity that would be adequate to their skill level. Whereas
Yeah.
for us, we're still a long way away from that, but we do understand our focus and our mission
Yep.
is development,
He's
and
frozen a bit, but that's okay. While
yeah,
he's frozen and coming back. Okay, yeah, I see you now. I
yeah.
wanted to just give a couple of more comments that you're getting. Team Natty says that you were a star player in high school, so kudos to
I
you
don't
for
know.
that. You may have started grade 5, but you was still a star. And Coach Ray from Unity Sports still saying he wants his signed ZOR shirt, Manny. So
No problem.
Ray, you can
No
just
problem.
drive over there anytime. He lives in that gym. So at any moment, you can always go there and get your shirt signed. And
Absolutely.
Oliver for Mindful Parenting Toolkit says, there you go, parents' expectation. Yes, definitely agree with that, with clarifying what the parental expectation is versus the reality of where your child is versus where you can help them from wherever that stage is to the next level. And I'm one that can definitely be a testimonial for you guys that you helped our kids definitely developed. We were not shy to move from, let's say at a certain level and come to your organization and having them play with you guys for about a year and a half or so, they definitely grew. Their skills got better. They got more confident. It's nothing to be ashamed of to want to go and relearn anything. Like it's the best thing you can do because there's always something to be learned. So nobody starts off being
Yeah.
an expert. Everybody starts off learning something. So definitely your program does work. I am definitely a testimony to that. We
Thank you.
have two
Thank you.
boys and I can testify twice for that. That's why I always recommend you guys
I
as one of
appreciate
the
you. Even after I had to
club.
beat OG in the finals.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, he will.
No, no, but no, 100%. I'm just playing like they're gifty. But no, I really appreciate you. Nana and OG were definitely a pleasure to work with. I obviously had one-on-one sessions with them basically when they came in for our small group training, and they've developed a lot. And obviously, athletically, they've been gifted. But their skills starting to come along now. And just speaking to Nana recently, I've seen them mature into like a young human being. So it's good
Yeah.
to see their development, on and off the court. It's really
Yes.
cool.
Thank you for that. Yes. And then back to you. So you talk a bit about ZOR and what you guys do and you're in the early stages and you kind of help everybody along the way. And you mentioned like even today you're doing assessment session. So walk us through with let's say a parent reach out and say, hey, my son or my daughter loves basketball. They're always playing in the backyard, they're playing in the front yard, they're playing with a neighbor, they're going to the school and I want them to play, but they've never done it before. And I say, okay, contact ZOR and let's see what happens. So what are the steps that you do when somebody comes to you fresh and they're looking like they love the sports, but they need something? What are the steps that you guys go through with them?
Yeah, for sure. Really good question. If a parent reaches out to us, number one, we'll obviously get a feel for who they are, the age of the child, whether they've played basketball before or if it's their first time. And then if it's usually, someone who's new to the game, who's still very young, we'll recommend them going through our beginner academy, which will just introduce them to basic parts of the game, like areas of the court, basic motor skills, jumping, passing, running, basic physical literacy skills. Will kind of help them go into that, initial kind of training program before moving on. If they feel like they're competitive and they want to play, then our house league is usually a good option. And with our house league, how it works, students in for an evaluation. Obviously, am I frozen? Hello?
No, you're not. You're good. Sorry, mine froze for a bit, but I'm good.
Yeah, no worries. So yeah, if it's someone that's interested in our house league, we'll call them in for an evaluation with a group of other students. And during those evaluations, we'll put them through some different drills. We'll have them scrimmage. We'll get a fair assessment of the level that they're at. And then usually we'll bring them in for a second evaluation where we can kind of really hone in on what level they're supposed to be at, especially for a lot of kids that are on the fence. Like some kids are a sure shot. All right, they should be in this division, Division A or Division B. A lot of kids end up kind of somewhere in the middle. So that second and third evaluation is usually for those kids in the middle, so we can really kind of recommend which division would be appropriate for them. Um,
Okay.
Once they're in the program and they're actually playing games and attending practices, now this is where we communicate with the parents, give them feedback, help them along the journey in terms of, whether their kid should move up a level or move down a level, or they should
Mm-hmm.
not be able to try out for our rep teams. So that's kind of how the process works. Obviously, like an initial assessment, evaluation, have them get started with the programs, and then a constant kind of feedback loop with the parents where we're communicating with them, they're communicating with us, and we're kind of just figuring out what's the best situation for the child going forward.
Yes, I like that. I like that because there's a step-by-step process. There's a communication process. There's in the loop process, and you're not just leaving them there. Oh yeah, come on, pay me $5,000, let's say, and yeah, they're going to be the next star. And I'll get them to the NBA. You're being realistic from the beginning, and
Yeah,
you're setting them up based on their skill level with open communication, which is great because we like to know. I mean, some parents may know something. Maybe they played in high school, maybe played in elementary. Maybe they never played before, but like you said, your communication and letting them know step by step also helps, regardless of where their knowledge is. And I think as a parent, that's something I appreciate because it also lets me learn along the way with my child
yeah.
and know that they're in, they getting all the skills and the support that they need. Now, so now they've joined you, and you do have multiple different programs that you guys run. So run, go through some of them that you do, and I know there's a whole girl section as well too, which you do phenomenal work with. So walk us through the various type of programs that ZOR offers.
Yeah, for sure. So again, we start off with our beginner academy, and then the beginner academy is kind of sectioned off into a few different divisions based on age. And again, that's an introductory level program, just teaching kids basic physical literacy, motor skills, introducing them to basic skills of the game. Once they graduate past the beginner academy, the next step before our actual house league, excuse me, is our ZYBL. We call it our novice or recreational division, and
Mm-hmm.
that's basically an intro to gameplay program where all the games aren't played on our big courts, but it's played on a smaller court where it's 4-on-4, so kids get more touches. There's usually more stoppages with the referee to basically teach different rules of the game, such as double dribbling, traveling, all that good stuff. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
Once they're kind of able to comfortably handle that intro gameplay division, then we'll move them up into our competitive house league, which is the ZYBL, obviously popularly known in the community. And that's where kids really start to compete and get after it and start to learn more parts about the game, such as strategy and the different technical aspects of the game. Um, so again, the beginner academy, the intro to gameplay league, the
Mm-hmm.
actual house league, which is the ZYBL, and then we have a training academy during weekday evenings for kids that do want extra practice and training. And that's basically a drop-in model where kids can sign up for however many days they would like to during the weeks, and then come in and work with myself and the other coaches that we have. Um, and now we have the rep teams, which is a new program that we've added on. Really looking forward to getting started with those. We have our first official practices with the rep team starting next week.
Nice, nice. And which tournaments will you guys be participating in?
So we'll be joining the Coalition League for this
Nice.
fall. And then
Okay.
going forward, I know there might be other things on the horizon, but we'll definitely have like exhibition games, tournaments, and the Coalition League going on this fall.
Yeah, and I'm so happy that you guys have leaped into that side as well too, because like you said, you start them off, at the early stage, first time they're touching the ball, you teach them the skills, the fundamentals, where all the lines, what it means, where to stand, how to shoot
Yeah,
it, how to get like the basics of it, all the way to the level, and then to see them off somewhere, sometimes they may go and may not make that rep team, and they may feel a little bit defeated, but they're still good, maybe not to that level of it. So being in your rep aspect of it is another way of continuing to grow your student athletes, and I like that. And because parents, they love being in there, of course, why not stay this where you are and you're still developing? So I'm really
yeah,
excited to see you guys get to this level,
yeah.
and you know continue and excel, but still keeping the core, focus of where you guys are. But
And
there is a question for
yeah,
you. So he says, may I ask what organization is this plus location? So Oliver, this is ZOR Sports Academy, and they are based out of Game 6 in Brampton slash Caledon, Vaughan
Brampton,
borderline.
Vaughan. Yeah,
Yeah,
got
depend
it.
on the address, how it pops up on your phone. But they're on Highway 7 in Cottrell,
Yeah,
Game 6 Academy. So that's who they're affiliated with, and that's their home base. And I believe Vaughan City VCB had been there a couple of times as well too at that facility. So I will connect you if you also need to go there and book any sessions with them for sure. Um,
absolutely. Yeah.
Awesome. And then another point I wanted to find out from you was you already talked about tips for parents as to where the misunderstandings might be, but what has been within your community? Because the community you serve is so special. Like it's unique and it's in Brampton and Browntown, let's just say, right? And most often everybody thinks of basketball, they think of certain genre, a certain gender, anything like that. How was it for you to like get your foot in it and have that stability in there? Because your organization is like one of the top ones that comes up when you search for basketball team in Brampton. And I just
Yeah.
want to know how you've been able to incorporate that community love and comfortability so people don't have to travel to other parts of the city if they're looking for a team and it's so close to them, right?
Yeah. No, great questions, Gifty. I guess so. To start off, number one, just to talk about how we've been able to kind of carve out a space for ourselves within the competitive Brampton basketball community is obviously passion. I've been this like ZOR as an organization started off with myself after graduating university to kind of create a platform for our students and young athletes to come train and play and have fun and enjoy. Um, and the passion has helped us. The quality of coaches that we've been able to bring in and work
Mm-hmm.
with kids has allowed parents to see that we not only just roll the balls out and let these kids play ball, but we really do care about the players and the athletes and the families that do come through our doors. So providing them a service that they can remember and feel good about and giving them good experiences has really allowed to just keep that longevity. Staying organized is huge with
Yes.
having large numbers of families coming in and out of your doors. So just being able to communicate, manage expectations like we talked about earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Be available for parents if they have a phone call and they want to chat with you about their child, just being available for them. And if you don't know exactly what's going on, like pointing them to the coach that is working with that child. It's kind of like working kind of similar to a school system when it comes to that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and obviously the experience and background of our coaches, myself, having played at all different levels. Coach Adranko has been played 17 years professional, has been playing pro, and has been coaching in the youth system for like 20 plus years.
Yes,
Coach
he played
Manny,
against Jordan. You should mention that. Maybe talk about one of your coaches and his accolades playing with the Dream Team, right? Many years ago. I don't remember the year, but yeah. So they're not just coming off with no experience, but your coaches definitely know what they're talking about. And the key point I also want to mention is they actually take time to remember your name.
yeah,
And that's important because it's not, hey, how are you? You actually address individuals by their name, which make them feel, you know, I'm remembered. I'm somebody. I'm part of this. This is a good thing. So kudos to your coaches for that. Hold on, I think you're
yeah. That's
frozen there for
definitely
a
one
bit.
of the
Yeah.
yeah, no, that's definitely one of the points of emphasis we like to stress during our staff training before the start of each season is that learning their names and remembering who they are and building that rapport with them will make it easier when it comes to actually teaching the game and teaching these things. Because if a kid's not comfortable with you, or if they're intimidated, or there's still a barrier,
Mm-hmm.
it's hard to kind of get your message across because that's kind of their clouded perception at that point. So if you're able to
Yep.
break down those barriers, make them comfortable, it's a lot easier to communicate your message and have them understand.
I like that. Yes, and I know some my name changes depend on the day I come in, but you guys always remember me, so
Yeah.
that's a good thing. Um, so and then what for the kids? Some of the kids, like you said, they're coming in and I really want to play ball. I want to do this and I want to do that. And it's great you speak with the parents, but what are some of the tips or advices that you give to the kids to continue to let them know that, hey, you may start here, but doesn't mean you're going to be there forever, or you're there, but this is how you can continue and sustain it at all the different ages. So I'm sure you had different levels of skills of athletes that come across all the time to you. What would be like three things that you try to keep in mind in the consistency in your communication with them so they can continue to keep coming back and develop and get better?
For sure. Number one is just understanding where you're at, what level you're
Mm-hmm.
at, and the steps that you need to take to get to the next level, whether that's moving up a division in our house league, whether that's making your school team, whether that's making our rep team, whether that's just, being able to show up, and be able to practice and play. So just understanding where you're at and then understanding the steps that are needed to take to get to the next level.
Mm-hmm.
And that every time you do come in the gym, time you do step foot in the gym and you work with our coaches and you're focused and you have a good attitude, you're putting forth your effort, you will get better. That's guaranteed.
Yep.
How much you improve and how much you get better will be determined by the level of effort and focus that you give forward. So I think those are kind of the three things that I like to, or we like to have our students and young athletes understand when they do come to us.
Okay, and then you touched on the word effort. So if you can explain to all of us what does ZOR actually mean, just so that people understand why your basis of it is so important, which is the root cause of what everything you guys do. So what does ZOR mean?
For sure, ZOR or JOR definitely means effort, strength, words that are synonymous with those terms. And, when you say, work with JOR or work with ZOR, that means you work with effort, work with your effort, physical effort, mental effort, any type of effort, but just make sure you're locked in, you're focused, and you're putting forth good effort. So it
Okay,
definitely comes down to effort, I guess you could use as a word to, you know,
describe it. And you pronounce it in as a jor?
Jor.
Jor. And what language is that?
That's Punjabi.
Punjabi. Okay, I like that. So I've been saying it the American way or the Canadian way all this time. My apologies.
No, it's all good. It's all good. I mean, that's what it's kind of spelled as, so I'm not going to knock you for that.
No, I'm gonna correct it going forward now because I like to honor, our uniqueness and our multiculturalism here in Canada. So definitely it's gonna be Jor
Yeah.
Sports Academy going forward. Okay. And
Yeah, just
anybody else, when you call, just make sure you also say it in that same tone to keep the culture going for sure.
sure. Appreciate that.
Um,
Thank you, Gifty.
yeah, no problem. And then what do you look for when you are definitely looking for those players? Because now you're in rep now, right? And are you looking for somebody that has played with your organization before or plays a different organization before, a certain amount of years, a certain level of skills? Because moving from a regular house league where it's consistent day by day, same time, that set schedule that it continues to grow is different when you move into the competitive rep style aspect of it. So transitioning into that, what are you looking for those athletes that you're going to be using them as your inaugural players to get into this realm of basketball world?
Yeah, no, great questions. So, one of the mandatory requirements that we had for anyone that was trying out for our rep teams or our travel teams, if you want to call them, was that they had to be a current or previous member of our house league. And
Mm-hmm.
that was one of the requirements we had just because, and actually playing in our house league is part of our rep team packages as well. And the reason we
Okay.
did that is because we feel that the rep team, the house league is a great place for these kids to develop confidence, develop skills. And coming to this point, you probably noticed yourself, right? There was about like 3 or 4 rep players or rep caliber players that were playing on every team. So
Yeah.
even if you're not playing heavy minutes in your rep games, the house league provides a great platform for these kids to develop those skills, develop confidence, to get more touches on the basketball, and just accelerate their development. Whereas
Mm-hmm.
just playing on the rep team and they're not getting as many touches in games, they may get discouraged or not develop as quickly. So that was part of the reason we included the house league as part of our rep team package, but also because we wanted kids that we worked with in the past or that want to come to our program and want to come work with us to be players in our rep programs, right? And there's
Yeah.
this type of individual that we're looking for. We're not looking for the most talented kid, or if you could like touch your elbow on the rim. We're not looking for the greatest athletes. We're just looking for kids that again want to come to our facility or come to our practices and games and work hard, put forth their effort, be good kids, be good citizens in society, and kids that are coachable and that want to learn. Uh,
Yep. Yeah.
that's definitely the type of individuals that we're looking for. And obviously there's going to be some kids that are on the edges that you have to be patient with, that you have to work with.
Mhm.
And we don't mind doing that as long as, their efforts there. And
That's it. As long
that,
as joy is there, that's definitely, yeah, yeah. I like that. And for the kids outside of basketball, because you mentioned earlier even about doing tutoring and things like that. Because as parents, like we'll say, is your homework done before you go to practice? Is this done like school first? You're a student first before anything else. We'll sit down, we'll review work and things like that. And sometimes some parents may not have that time to do, or they may not have the knowledge. Like right now, the way they do math is not the same way I did math when I was in school. But you did touch on it that you did provide outside of the core or outside of sports support as well too. So talk a little bit more about that as well.
yeah, for sure. So the first season that we actually started ZOR, it was a basketball academy with tutoring and homework help offered before and after games. And
Mm-hmm.
you obviously know Coach Harvey, the commissioner of our house league now. But before, when he first started with us, he was appointed to be a tutor, and he would be tutoring before and after all games. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
Anybody that needed help with homework or that needed to get their homework done, we would just encourage them to bring their books. So we would have a desk set up outside our gym, and kids would just work
Wow.
there, and then come in on the court, do their court stuff, and then go home or finish their game and then do it afterwards. But we did have that set up our very first season, and then as we continue to grow, it's kind of something that we went away from. Obviously, just becoming more focused on the basketball aspect and wanting to become competitive, starting rep teams before COVID, and then having to obviously shut them down because we wanted to kind of build things back up from the ground up. But now that we're kind of in a bit of a flow here and we've got our system established again, we're going to be offering tutoring this fall.
Okay.
So
Okay.
yeah, the good folks at Game Six Sports Academy converting one of their storage rooms into a classroom, and it's going to be a good spot for kids to come in and just like get their work done before their team
Yeah.
practice. We'll have mandatory study hall. I think you'll have to attend like at least once a week if you're part of our rep teams. So these are some of the things that we're going to include as part of our rep packages. But then also just in general tutoring for anyone that needs help with schoolwork. It'll be available for them as well.
I like that. I like to hear, as a parent, I like to hear that it's not just about playing, but there's a holistic aspect of it, of seeing you as a person, not just an athlete, right? You're more than that as an athlete, as whatever the hashtag said, somewhere along the trending line of some sort. So that's
Yeah, and it provides that convenience so parents can come here. It's kind of their one-stop shop for everything. They get to
mhm.
do their basketball, their exercise, their physical fitness, but then they also get their schoolwork done at the same time. So it's kind
Yep.
of keep it centralized at one location, and it's we'll see how it goes. It's the first
Yes.
season we're kind of reintroducing it, I guess.
It will be well because you're well trusted and respected, of course. And I want to dive into the girls side of it. You guys have been supporting female, like the girls in basketball for a long time too. So talk about your girls league, how you continue to support them, and where they're going as well too, as you continue to grow.
Yeah, definitely. The girls program is definitely a big focus for us going forward. And Coach Baines, he's been doing a really good job kind of leading the charge with that. And,
Mm-hmm.
and Coach Jadrenko as well, just being on court with the girls every Friday, every Tuesday, developing them, taking it super slow. A lot of
Mm-hmm.
our girls, they do come in very shy. Um, and sometimes it's tough to break that barrier to communicate with them. But I think our coaches are doing a really good job getting their messages across, and then starting very basic in instruction and then progressing slowly to the point where they're at now.
Mm-hmm.
That kind of foundation is being set up and established and finalized. We're able to kind of hit the ground running with them this fall because we've worked with them so diligently and closely over the past few months, and that trust has been built. I think that extra push that they need, that advanced instruction, that real basketball field that they're going to develop is going to come quicker because of the time that we took to establish the foundation, which a lot of the time is the toughest part because you're
Yeah.
working with kids that aren't obviously the most skilled but do have a passion and an appeal for the game. So just being there with them through their ups and downs and helping them along their journey and getting that foundation set up, I think was huge. And again, Coach Baines and Coach Adrenko and even Coach Sammy, they've done is excellent. Coach Como, I got to give a shout out to all our coaches that.
Yes, yes, yes. Coach Sammy, Coach Jermaine, all of you
Yeah,
guys. Like it's a family environment when you come there. You never feel alone. And I think one of the main thing that helped us is when, like I said, when you come there, you feel welcome. And one example I'll give is I think during like one of your sessions like this, you're trying to see what level they're at. There was a parent that came there, and I think they got there on the wrong date. They were supposed to be there, like say, like a Tuesday, and they showed up on a Monday. And instead of sending them back and say no, come back the next day, one of your coaches actually said, you know what, they may not be the one here, and you took them to a side and actually dedicate like another 20 minutes or so with that kid. And the look in their face and the look in their mom's face, they were like just so happy. I mean, I'm sure they came back the next day for their right scheduled time, but just having the ability to still say, I can stay for a little bit and then, see how it is before I come back. That was great. So that's kudos to you guys for that because you make everybody feel welcome. And I think that's what parents need, especially when you're in that early stages where you're building that confidence and you're learning the skills and you're learning the sports. And, like you said, you may not be the one that can put your hand in the net and touch your elbow. Like, that's fine if you can do that, but it takes time to get there. It takes
yeah,
different levels of training, and some people are born naturally to do that. But if you're just starting and you're learning, like you guys provide that service, and that's also amazing. I love it that you're borderline between what? So what would you say you're looking? Is it Brampton team, a Vaughan team? What's it called? Kleinberg, like all these different towns, Caledon.
I'll
Where
have
would
my
you say
bias.
you're borderline?
I'll have my bias towards being a Brampton team just because obviously being raised out here in the community and spending all the time prior to this out here. But location wise, like technically Kleinberg, or you could say border of Brampton Vaughan. That's where we're kind
Okay.
of.
I like that. Yeah, yeah. And I think I've sent parents from Etobicoke. I've sent parents from Scarborough. I'm like, just
Yeah,
go, just get off the highway, and you just be down there, and you're fine to go. Um, Location, the address again. I think I mentioned in game six. And I think prior to that, you were like all over different locations. So how did that come about, and where is the partnership going and the growth of it? Talk more about the support that the two of you are giving each other and continue to grow this sport within your community.
for sure. I think initially when we started out, um, we were more of a program where wherever we could get a facility, we would go there, and we were all over the map. We were at Shaney Middle School by Sandalwood and Queen Mary for a little bit. We worked out of a few high schools: Sandalwood, Harold Brathwaite, Chinguacousy, Central Peel. So kind of all over the city. And now that we've kind of developed this partnership with Game Six, it's more of a resource sharing partnership where
Mm-hmm.
kind of supporting each other and helping each other grow and get to our organization goals a bit faster by helping each other. They always say go fast if you go alone, if you want to go fast, if you want to go far, go slow.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that's
And
kind of the
iron
mindset.
sharpen iron, all those nice
Yeah.
quotes. Like, there's no I in a team, like, because what you know versus what they know sort of combine together, and it helps. And I can see that. I like that partnership, that union. And when you go in there, you don't feel like it's A versus B. It's one location, and everybody feels welcome. And especially going back to the girls one, like I had my niece, join you guys for the very first time during the summer, and she looked forward to it every single time. She enjoyed it. It was her first time ever on a basketball court, and it was because of
Yeah.
you guys. I mean, it's great benefits and a great experience that you're giving out to the kids of all stages, whether they continue to a certain level or not. But that's that starting point and making them feel that, hey, you can do it too. I continue to do that. I kudos to all of your staff for continuously doing that. But I want to bring it back to you again because this is about you and your organization and
Just and
everything.
just to touch on your point there as well, Gifty. I know it's definitely great to encourage kids to play and be involved with the game, and but obviously just going back to that managing expectation side of things, you also
Mhm.
want to be honest with kids, and you want to be honest with parents, and you want to give them the truth and the raw reality of what they can expect from your program, but then also just in general your recommendations. So you're not really sugarcoating things, but you're giving them constructive feedback. Obviously
Yes.
what they need to hear, and then giving them steps that could be taken to kind of help them with their situation. So I
Yeah.
guess just serving the community in that way is definitely a big part of what we try to do.
I think you do a good job at that because you're open, and authenticity to me is key point. There's no hidden anything. Everything is clarified, and you help them if they're willing to go to the next step, which is a great thing as well too. And the delivery of the message is clear. It's not a what if. You're not second guessing yourself or anything like that. So I
Yeah.
applaud you guys and keep doing that because it's clear. Another thing I wanted to also mention with the house league is that it's not just come in and play with one. You've developed the house league in such a mini rep style with a competitive of team versus team. So talk a bit about that because you do have, a ceremony at the end. You do your little bit all-star. They do get medals. They get a little bit like accolades and things like that so that it's not just coming in, learn just the ball and go, but you build like a team within a team. So talk a bit about that whole ZYBL aspect of it.
Yeah, for sure. ZYBL originally, again, was started as just a regular house league, development league for kids to come in and play against their friends, against kids from their school, from other schools, but just like additional playing and practice experience. And now it's kind of developed into, again, this platform for kids at different levels to work on their game, to build their confidence, to build different skills that we hold as pillars in the organization, just like perseverance, teamwork,
Mm-hmm.
ability, and like you said, it's developed into a pretty competitive platform where all the teams have a few rep players, kids from their high school teams. These are kids, yeah, that can all play at that level, but because of the environment, the intensity, the feel of the ZYBL, kids are attracted to it and they want to come compete in it. So I find that pretty cool, and our uniforms are really nice too. So that I'm sure they enjoy that. But
Yes, yes,
yeah,
I like that. I like the uniforms. Nice colors, can miss it, and the sizes do fit, which is good. It
yeah,
fits for everybody, for sure.
yeah. Now we
Um,
got larger sizes coming in, so make
yeah,
sure if anything they're too big and not too small.
I like it. And honestly, even just your finals aspect of it is great because I think it was you guys that allowed me to even do my first on location interviews with players and get them to talk and feeling comfortable. And you do it in such a manner that everybody feels welcome. Everybody feels like they're part of the club and they're doing something. So it's great. Oh, and Portia saying hi, Manny. And then there were a comment a little bit earlier supporting you as well. I just have to scroll back and find it. But
Yeah.
everybody's just, giving you kudos and shout outs for all the work that you're continuously doing in the community. So good job on that.
Yeah.
Do you mind taking a walk with us and showing us the facility too, though?
Oh wow, do that right now? Yeah, we could do that. We could do that. Give me 1 second. I'm hearing big
Because
dogs. Like,
you're right there in that location. I should have actually come in person, to be honest, and just do it there,
so
but that's
these are
okay.
here. I'll switch the camera view around.
Yep, no problem.
See where I'm taking you instead of just the views of my face. All right, so these are
So these
the.
are the new uniform coming for your rep team.
Oh,
Okay, just
we got the
reconnecting.
number,
Yep,
and yep. So this is one side.
nice.
Now the cool thing about
Okay,
these, you flip them over.
and
You
you got a
got
different color.
the Raptors color. Obviously, we got to support the home team, so we got black and gold on this side, and then we
Wow,
got red and white on the other side.
wow.
This is the front reception area
Yeah,
where everyone comes in, checks in here with gentlemen like
it's
our guy Harsahib.
open.
Right. And then over here, we have our evaluations going down.
Yeah,
These are one of the courts, and then other two courts I had showed you earlier as well.
yeah.
Pretty similar situation. Got coaches working hard, deciding what level these kids need to go to. But it's cool. It's turned into something really cool. Kids love it. They enjoy it. They have a good time, and you know, passion of the coaches is unmatched from my experience, at least in this community. So,
Yeah,
very
yeah.
happy with the way things are going and the direction that we're headed in.
I like that. And I honestly, I wish you guys all the best because it's a clean court. It's close to home for me, so that's good. It's always nice and neat. There's a little bit of space to sit, and there's a couple of nice food area in the area to drive by and pick up something. So you picked the perfect location and a great organization to combine with, and still welcoming to everybody, and still sticking to your core of development and working on that effort.
Yeah,
Joy. Yes, I
Robert.
got it right.
Yeah,
The
got it.
Joy effort for sure. Um, just trying to run it up as well. And you mentioned a bit about your education aspect of it. And one key point I always say for us parents is we want our kids to still remember, you don't have to just be an athlete. There's so many aspects of it that you could be in the sports world without being just only the
Yeah.
athlete in addition to it. And having your educational background and going into the whole business aspect of it, what is the one thing that you would tell kids, like, still love the sports, but continue with this other interest that you have and see how it combines? I know from somebody who's gone through the school aspect of it, who's been a student athlete, and now combine the business aspect of it. And some of these kids may not know where it takes them, but just one good word of advice to them to just keep going and see where it takes them.
Yeah, one good piece of advice, word or piece?
It's up to you.
This piece of advice,
Yeah.
is don't give up. Don't give up so easily. Things are going to get hard. There's going to be challenging times. Keep fighting, keep working, ask questions, talk to your coaches, put forth your best effort and see what happens. But if you're not trying your best, if you're not giving it your best effort, you can't really give up and quit and say, like this isn't for me. So
Yeah.
if
Don't
you
give up.
know you've exhausted your energy and you're really working at it and things still aren't going your way, then sure, you can reevaluate things. But I would really give it your honest best shot before giving up and trying something new. So, and that goes with anything, whether it's
Yeah.
basketball, whether it's, you're trying to learn how to cook or try a new school subject that you're interested in. So anything in life, like, give it your honest, truthful best before you decide to
quit. Yeah.
go another way.
I agree. And last couple of questions just to lighten it up because I always start with so serious, but I'm going to end it off with a little bit lighter, so you can be like, oh, okay, Gifty wasn't so bad after all.
No, it's been great. This has really been great. Appreciate
I'm
you.
glad. I'm glad. And you shared a lot of good knowledge and good tips as well, too, that I know those who are going to listen and watch later will take away and hopefully helps them with your journey as well, too. But you continue to inspire a lot of people, you know, so who has been inspiring you or what inspires you overall?
Definitely my family, you know, my parents.
Shout out to your
You know,
baller mom.
shout out to my baller mom. Yeah, no, mom's
Yeah,
huge inspiration always. Just like her discipline for sticking with her day-to-day routine, and just like the person, just like seeing her work and grind over the years, and you know, the amount of sacrifice that I think that's the key word. The amount of sacrifice
yeah,
parents have made, I think that's huge. So obviously, seeing them on a day-to-day basis, our team of coaches, they inspire me just by the way they
right.
work with the kids, and you know, as much as they learn from myself and the students, I'm always learning from them as well. You know, my partners, Harvinder and Harjot, just being able to connect with them often and, you know, have conversations about organization, about life, about basketball. Like all these different things are very inspiring for me. It's not tough for me to find inspiration. It's and I think that goes for anyone. Like whether you're a young
Mm-hmm.
kid or a parent that you know may be a bit down for whatever reason. You know, maybe you had a bad experience somewhere. There's inspiration everywhere, and you know, I think you just have to take the time to look and breathe and really take it in to see what you're being inspired by.
I like that. And I know you live on the court all the time, 24/7, but if you ever do have time to yourself, let's say to read a book, or a book you've read in the past, what would be one of your recommended or favorite book that you've read?
It's one of the books that I've read recently, which Champion's Mind.
Okay.
That's a good one. Um,
I like that one. I think I did the audio for that one. I didn't physically read it, but I did it the
Brain
audio.
Rules. Yep, I don't know if you heard that one. It's called Brain Rules.
Brave,
Brain Rules.
brave. Okay.
It's more about just articulating evidence-based research from all these studies that shows us how our brain can be optimized and used at you know at its optimal in an optimal state. You know, just things like teaches talks about exercise and how important that is for brain development. You know, good sleep, good rest. It's a pretty cool book and New York Times bestseller. It's a good one.
Nice. Brain rules.
Yeah.
I like that. Great. Wow. See, you do read. I know. That's what I'm
Yeah.
trying to get these kids. It's not just
Yep.
about bouncing. There's so many things aspect to being yourself.
Yeah.
And I love that. And is there anything that you need right now from the Baller Room community that we can do to support you?
Honestly, just keep supporting Baller Mom. You know, she's
Oh,
doing
not me.
a good job.
You.
Support us. You know, come by the facility sometime, say hi, check out our website, zorsports.ca. We offer a bunch of different programs. If you know if we can help serve you in any sort of way, feel free to check those out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just keep supporting Baller Mom. If you're supporting Baller Mom, you're supporting us. So there you
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I didn't need to segue to me, but thank you for that. And last one. Anything nice you've done for yourself lately? Just for you.
go.
That's hard.
I grabbed a smoothie recently.
Okay.
Good.
That's not bad. Enjoy the smoothie. I'm not going to ask what flavor, but that's a good thing. At least you paused and you got something for you.
Yeah.
But I wanted to wrap it here and say thank you so much, Manny. Honestly, it's been a while since we first met, like in 2018 or something like that, long time ago with NYMBP's
Like
session back in
National Youth Mentorship Basketball Program.
Yes, with Kevin and his team, definitely many years ago. And since then, like we've been on the same mindset, mind wave. And I love to see the growth that you have and the continuous work that you continue to do in the community and helping the kids. So kudos to you guys. I wish you really, really well for your rep team this year. Maybe we might face you at some point somewhere. You might see each other on the court, and you'll hear me when you see me for sure. I'll be cheering loud all the way to
Look
you
forward
guys.
to it.
So yes, yes, yes. Thank you so much. And thank you to everybody that joined in. More coming to you. Keep it up, Astad. Always rocking. Shout out to
Thank
you, ZOR
you.
fam, 100%. So yes, people appreciate all the work you guys are doing. So definitely a great organization to be with, to join, and to be part of that family. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Manny. I'll let you go and
Thank
go
you,
back
Gifty.
and finish your session.
Appreciate you. Thanks
Thank
again for
you.
having us on.
No problem. Have a good rest of your evening, everyone. Bye, Manny.
All right, take care. It's been a pleasure.
Bye.